A Harris poll conducted in September of 2020 indicated that approximately 72% of U.S. adults said they always wore a mask when out of the home and unable to socially distance, for absolutely no reason at all, up from 26% in a similar poll conducted in April of that year. Suppose a news report stated that mask wearing increased by almost 300%. Is this an accurate description of the increase? So the first thing we can do with this example is understand where that idea of about 300% comes from. That if we look at 72 over 26, ignoring the percentages for a second, what we'd end up with is about 277%. That is, we'd end up with approximately 2.77, and that is where the about 300, if you're willing to be even a little bit more generous, comes from. But we should understand here that besides the fact that we're talking about a 300% increase in a percentage, and that just sounds weird too, that's not really what we're looking at, because we're talking about the change there, not just the values themselves, where if we mark this as a percent increase instead, going from 26 to 72, we'd have 72 over 26 divided by 26, 46 over 26, which is actually much closer to 1.77 or 177%, which is a notable increase, and for good reason, and in my opinion, and a lot of scientific opinion, a good sign, is still far lower than what the news would have reported there. And it's really important to understand this, and it's really important to be careful with this type of thing, because it's very, very easy to misrepresent changes in percentages or changes in any value using percentages in exactly this way. It happens quite often, and it's not even the only way that you can have a percentage misrepresent a situation, especially if you've got very small numbers of things. But that's about all we're going to look at for this section. Most of this should be pretty familiar, and even the stuff that's not shouldn't be too hard. In 8.2, we're going to be taking a bit of a step up in complexity because we're going to be talking about income taxes, which have a little bit more going on behind the scenes when you submit stuff to the IRS. That's what we're getting next.